Hi, this is Ian Botcher with the Botcher team and Zaharra Wong, salesperson extraordinaire of the Botcher team. Welcome to Friday Facts. So if you're watching this live, welcome. We're happy to have you on the cast. If you're getting this in an email, well, you got this from probably signed up on our list or a past client or somebody, and we're very happy to have you join us here today. So for Friday Facts, first we're going to go through real quick, and Zahar's just going to tell us the rundown on the market, what's going on statistics-wise, and we'll tell you a little about that and kind of what it means. But go ahead.
Sure. So in Santa Clara County, there were 312 new listings this week. Only 118 went into contract. There were 66 price reductions and 25 price increases. So total, there are 2,020 total active listings.
Awesome. So, so it sounds like in with the average sales price, do we?
Oh, so the average sales price was 1.213 million average.
Okay. So this week's probably a little different. So 312 is not a lot of new listings, but it is Memorial Day weekend. So we might potentially have some sellers that are holding off and not listing because they don't want to put the home on the market over Memorial Day weekend. One thing that's interesting about that, though, that I see is last week we had almost as many, or actually 4 more houses go into contract than we did new listings. So we actually lost some inventory. This week, with only 118 going into contract, that means we actually gained a little inventory. Again, it's not a true statistic because on a holiday week, a lot of times people go on vacation, so there may be other reasons. But it's a trend we definitely want to watch, because if we continue to see that the inventory is rising and less homes are into contract, that can spell a little shift in the market. And we've been in a pretty aggressive seller's market here in the Silicon Valley for 4 years, but definitely this year, right out the get-go, right from January on, has been a pretty aggressive seller's market. So that's definitely an interesting thing on the statistics. Is that kind of what you're noticing out in the market?
It is.
Okay, perfect. Well, I want to go ahead now and introduce lender extraordinaire and the awesome Adeline Johnson from AMEC. And we're going to go ahead and bring her on so we can talk a little about what's going on in the world of loans and some of the things that as buyers out there, you may want to know potentially that can help you to get into a home. So welcome.
Hi, thank you.
So Adeline, I'm going to kind of go right to the heart of it, because everyone always asks the same question first right off the bat. So rates, the R word. What's going on with rates?
You know what? Rates are, people are thinking, oh yeah, it's going to go up, go up. You know what? Rates are incredibly low right now. A 7-1 ARM, you're talking about like 3.25 with no points. Wow. And 30-year fix is still less than 4%, guys. So time is now to buy. So.
Okay. And those are probably going to go up sometime soon. I know we keep saying they're going to go up and then they don't.
Right.
I mean, what are your thoughts on sort of what's going to go on? Is there an answer, or is it kind of still open?
Yeah, with the administrations being a little bit unpredictable right now, sure. There's a lot of things that's in the rumor mill that things are going to change. So I think the market is going to hover where it is for a moment. So.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So common scenarios. I'm going to kind of introduce some common scenarios, because obviously we work with you quite a bit,
yeah.
and we know. So what common scenario we have with buyers is a buyer may go to walk into Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America. They go in and they try to get a pre-approval,
right.
And oftentimes the pre-approval may not be what they need, or sometimes the bank, for one reason or another, says this just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Is it over for them, or are there things out there, potential options out there, like viable options that may work for them? And tell me a little about what we could do.
Yeah, so we're a mortgage banker, so we sell directly to Fannie and Freddie, but also we have options to broker out to investors, other investors that are more flexible and guideline. So we definitely have alternative solutions for these clients. Just to give you a few examples that we get a lot of calls on are, in Silicon Valley, for example, there's a lot of high-tech individuals. A lot of the compensation comes from restricted stock options. So, the other day we were just talking to a client, for example, that they have a base income of $115,000 as a QA engineer, for example. If you just take that base salary to go and qualify, it's $115,000. How much can you buy in Silicon Valley? But on the other hand, if you look at her W-2, which include the restricted stock option RSU, she's making $265,000. So we were able to use the restricted stock options as income to qualify her. And that makes a huge difference on what she can buy. So, yeah.
All right, perfect. Now another one we come up with often is, say someone is self-employed or owns their own business, and they make quite a bit of money,
Yes.
but they don't always, not always reflected the same as a W-2 employee on taxes.
Sure.
What kind of options would somebody like that be able to do?
Yeah, so with self-employed, if you go the traditional route, we always calculate off down of the net income on the tax return. We do have specific programs that are tailored for self-employed individuals where we don't take tax returns. We don't look at your tax return. Rather, we look at your personal bank statements or your business bank statements where every single month where you deposit your income into, we average that over 12 months or 24 months, use that as income to qualify. So these individuals can qualify for homes. For example, a lot of real estate agents or a lot of people in construction company, landscaper, pool maintenance, service company. We help a lot of those clients.
Okay. Now, how about somebody who doesn't think they have enough down payment? What, obviously here, our usual options like FHA and some of the conventional loans. For the housing prices here, oftentimes people need a jumbo loan.
Sure.
What's kind of the minimum that someone could get into a jumbo, and what are the up to what price point? What can somebody do? If you're out there watching and you don't you don't think you can buy just because of down payment, what would be some options that might get someone into a house sooner?
Right. So in this area, we definitely need a jumbo loan. And with jumbo loans, we actually have a new program that's only require 5% down. And
That's
you can
huge.
purchase up to close to $1.6 million on your primary residence.
Okay, see, I didn't even know that. So 5% up to 1.6 million.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
And no mortgage insurance.
Okay.
No mortgage insurance.
Okay.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Wow. No PMI. All right.
Yeah.
So last week ago on tour, there was a house we would have bought, Laura.
I know, right?
We've been considering moving down here to Los Gatos. We've been looking in, we live in Willow Glen currently, but we've been looking down here, and there's been some houses, so that might be an option for us.
That is absolutely an option.
All right, so we'll be talking about that. As far as the general mortgage climate, any other thoughts or kind of things you want to add on, or that'd be important for the audience to know?
Yeah, so a lot of the mortgage market. There's a lot of alternative products that's coming up that are much more relaxed as far as guidelines concerned. We still ask you for paperwork. Don't get me wrong, right? However, as far as for example, the primary residence sector, we're still very tight on a little bit on the guideline, but when it comes to investors, we actually don't need any income verification. You only need to verify asset and you can be an investor. So think about that. So there's a lot of fun stuff going on with the mortgage market right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks.
So Adeline Johnson from AMEC, awesome lender and owner of 2 offices.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
This is the Boncher team doing Friday Facts. And we will be linking up the blog post as well as everything else, and so you can come back. And also, if you like this video and you want to get it emailed to you every week, if you're live, this won't be up yet, but if you're looking at this on our business page, go ahead and click the sign up link and get your name into our list, and we will email this out to you every Friday. So thank you so much.
Have a great weekend.